Hey everyone, it's Matt from CE Robots, the team behind Kraken. For those of you that haven't seen episode 11 yet, be aware that this video contains spoilers. And if you have seen episode 11 already, then you know that we lost. Obviously very disappointed anytime we lose, but that particular match, we said afterwards, we're probably the happiest losers who have ever been on BattleBots. Our robot finally worked. We're facing Lockjaw and Donald Hudson, and we went into that match as the 18. I'm not sure anyone predicted that we were going to push Lockjaw to the limit like we did. We had a really strong showing. We're very happy with how the robot performed and just how everything went in that match. Some things we could have done better, and hope, always try and get the win. There's things that could have worked better for us. But in that particular match, it started off really well. Lockjaw came out. We were trying to maneuver a little bit in the beginning, and within the first 5 seconds of the match, I gave up trying to maneuver because he was faster than us. And I said, just keep the nose pointed towards him and try and get under him. And right at the very beginning, we were able to get right under him and sink the teeth down right in the back side of his weapon. And that weapon actually bit down. One tooth hit his frame right where his weapon support was, so that's probably the strongest part of his robot, and it bit down on that, and the other tooth went down into the gap between the weapon and the frame. So neither component did any damage. Kraken produces 20,000 pounds of force, but the area that we bit was super reinforced, and we just weren't going to damage it. I believe Lockjaw's made of AR400 steel, might be AR500, but it's it's quarter-inch steel plate, so we're just not going to affect that. But we were able to get some really good control in, and people were like, "Well, why did you drive him around in circles? Why did you do something with him?" I was trying to. I was trying to take him over to the hammers. This was our first one-on-one match, so it was the first time our boys got to use the hammers, and we were talking about that for months before the event started, that you guys are going to drive the hammers. And so we get in this match, and I'm trying to get them over to the hammers, and Donald just was not cooperating. And anytime I started going towards the hammers or towards the screws, he would let me push him, and then as soon as we got close, he would gum the throttle one way or another, and it would cause me to kind of overcorrect. And so I'd start correcting back the other way, and as soon as he'd see me starting to correct the other way, he'd gum the throttle the other direction, and I'd overshoot it the other direction. And so I just was never able to really get him going in the direction I really wanted to. If you watch the video again, you can see that we're laying rubber down the whole time we're trying to push him, and we just couldn't get him where we wanted to. And that's just a testament to Donald's driving and his experience. He knew exactly what to do to prevent us from taking advantage of that. So it was after about 20-25 seconds, we got the call for release. We're able to hold for 30 seconds, but because our jaw is kind of slow to retract, I told the refs, I said, let me know in about 20 to 25 seconds and I'll release, and then that way by the time we get to 30 seconds he'll have been released so he can get away. So that was kind of how we worked together to make sure that we're complying with the rules and everything. So we got that release in, and then we spent the rest of the match trying to chase him around. He got behind us pretty early on, was able to kind of give us some pops next to the wall. He didn't get us over, but he was able to do some small damage to the front wedge, just some little chips. And there's a picture of that here. You can see just that little bit of damage along the edge there. But then it was a lot of us chasing him around, him trying to get away, get his weapon up to speed, bring it to bear, ultimately, in the match, Chris Rose says, "Oh, it looks like we got stuck on the floor," and we weren't actually stuck on the floor. What was happening there was I was trying to back up with drive forward, with the right motor, and the right motor died momentarily. So I'm trying to drive forward, and that motor's not turning, so the robot looks like it's stuck there and it's dead. It's not doing anything. It's actually just that motor was fading at that point. So the motor then got jostled, or I wiggled it a little bit or something, and it came back, and then it was driving in, it was fine. Was able to get on Donald again and get him back up to speed, keep the weapon away from the tires in the back of the robot. And then we kind of squared up to each other. He got away again, turned back towards us, and spun the weapon up. And I went to go forward to attack him, and that right side drive died completely, or it died again momentarily, I should say. And the robot spun away from him and exposed the back side, and he was able to deliver that final blow to flip us over. And then of course the drive came back and the motor's sitting there. And our issue that we had in our Gemini Mohawk battle, where the robot was just driving forward, appeared itself again in this fight. We didn't really recognize it because we had already lost, but the drive just stayed going on, and the motor actually just started smoking itself out. It just burned up. So here's a picture of that motor after the match, and you can see how that motor is just toasted. I mean, it's all the windings in there. It stunk up the whole pits. So we had to take that motor outside, and we left it outside for a couple days for it to the smell to go away. But it was a great match. Very honored to get to fight Donald. He's been a legend, been a fan of his for a long time, so that was cool. And really, the whole episode was fantastic. You know, they only put 5 episodes or 5 fights on the Discovery airing of the show, but really they could have put all 7 because all 7 fights were great. So that kind of covers where we are now. We ended up going back to the pits. We replaced that burn-up motor, and we put Kraken back together again. And now we have to wait and see what happens next. That was fight number 3. We have to see if we get any more. More to come on that in the future. Thanks for watching.